Hey guys, welcome to another episode of What the Heck Are We Doing at Minnesota Implement. So I get a lot of questions of how we do our lettering on units. I like to start by blocking out my space. So by giving myself a corner like that, I get a real good idea of spacing, and then you can also add another line here if you wanted to for size. Obviously, you can just kind of eyeball this in. In this case, I'm using a 4-inch wide piece, and that gives me a good block. And then I like my letters to be about 6 inches tall. So I personally prefer to use soapstone for doing this because the soapstone itself is about the same thickness as my weld bead is going to be. These graphite pencils also work well. Sometimes they're a little hard to see. You know, it's not really showing on the clean material. They work really well on rusted material. But you don't want to use something like a regular black ink pen or a paint pen because they'll burn away and you won't see them while you're welding, or they'll add ferocity to it. So I still like good old soapstone. This has been one of the best products for torching and welding for over 100 years, and it's still a really good product for it. But anyways, I like to do the 2/3, 1/3 rule. So my main number is about 6 inches tall. So now my 1/2, I will utilize about 2/3 of my number size. And that just gives a good proportioning. Now, it's important to make sure that your gun is really clean. You don't have a bunch of crap in there. Set your speed. In this case, I'm at 18 and about 2.5, but you set your wire speed. So you're running a little fast on the wire speed, but definitely hot enough to get a good bead. And then always test your bead before you weld. So I've got this pile of junk here that I just run some test beads on. And then I make sure to put my ground on the unit so that I'm not grounding through the table or getting a bad ground. I get a smoother bead in the downward direction. So I tend to do my number as 2 separate parts. You can see I'm a little bit shaky. Lois is way better at this. The wife and business partner is way better. Her numbers come out way more pretty. She does the script on the top of the faceplate. So the easiest way to do this is have somebody else do it who's better than you are, but sometimes we don't have a choice. Now there, even though I was going up and over, because the number is smaller, you would be able to see my intersect if I did that as 2 separate spots. So I went ahead and did that as 1 run. But that's how you do your numbering or script. It's way easier to do it on the flat than it is vertical, but the advantage of doing vertical is any of your berries and debris fall away and don't end up as stalactites in your weld. So we're Minnesota Implement. That's how we do our lettering on plows. Thank you for watching.